001 from San Diego, California asks,
have you seen bullying as bad as they make it out to be in Korea? And if so, what do teachers do about it? Now before we answer this, I have to let you know that I'm Simon.
And I'm Martina. And we're just two people expressing our personal opinions.
Are these opinions about everybody in Korea?
No.
Or are these just about our personal experiences and what we're relating?
Yes.
Now that that's cleared up and we're never gonna have to worry about that again.
Next week, probably.
Definitely. Let's try to clarify your question. So we don't really know what you mean by they, but we're assuming you're referring to like movies and dramas and manhwas, in which bullying seems to be a very predominant theme, much more than it is in North American media.
Yeah, as a big fan of dramas and manhwas and the Korean movies, school life is such a big theme, and bullying is always included in that theme as well. So that being said, we wanted to talk about our personal experiences with bullying in Korea, as well as the experiences that we asked our fellow co-teachers about, and so things that they experienced as Korean teachers dealing with bullying.
So I think the first thing we gotta mention is that Korea has a very different environment when it comes to bullying because the school system is very different here.
The hours are so long. I
Right.
mean, when you're at school, you live at school. You're there from like 6 or 7 a.m. until 10, 11 p.m.
Midnight, later than that.
I mean, that's your entire life.
And on top of that, it's not like you have different classes with different students. Whatever you have in your homeroom class, you stay with them the entire day.
So if you are being bullied, that means you're with the same people who are bullying you all day long from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. And on top of that, the classroom environment is almost like a second home because you're there for so long, so students will make an effort to make it more comfortable. So they'll bring in personalized pillows that they sit on, or they have their own little locker with their toothbrushes in it or their face products, and they have lots of stuff that's important to them.
So because you're living in this homeroom for such a long time, there's so many more things that victims can have targeted by bullies.
So that's why when you see TV movies or dramas or manhwas, you see people's personal effects being bullied with, like tacks in their shoes, or they have like insects in their desks and stuff like that, because it's all there and it's personal.
So there are a couple different experiences of bullying that we had when we were teachers in South Korea.
Now the biggest thing that a lot of people suffer from is isolation and separation from their peers, and there's actually a slang name for that. It's wangta, and wangta means that you're kind of like an isolated person. No one wants to talk to you.
You're like an outcast.
Yeah, it's like the whole class, if this person's been acknowledged as wangta, nobody will talk to them. So even if you don't particularly dislike that person, if you were to go and start talking to them, the other people in the class will now push you out. So in turn, nobody will stand up for this person, and it's just like a gigantic group of people isolating one person. And they'll be isolated for the entire day, and not just the entire day, the entire year, and other grade levels will know about them, so nobody will talk to them. And it's so severe sometimes that they'll transfer schools, but their wangtaism will go with them, and other students will know about it and make them wangta at that school.
So from my personal experience, whenever I had a wangta student in class, other students would always try to shy away from him.
Like physically shy away
They didn't
from
even
them.
want to sit next to him. And whenever that person would raise their hand to say something in class, other students would laugh at them.
I had the same thing happen as well. They'd be
know.
like snickering, even though there was nothing wrong with what they're saying. So besides isolation and being ignored, it can escalate to a bigger, more serious level, like being beat on and having things stolen from you. And one that's called kabang shuttle.
Kabang shuttle is also slang in which pretty much the person who is the wangta or the kabang shuttle will have to carry everybody's bags when they're going from class to class.
So now what would a teacher do in this situation? Well, they told me that they would try to address the classroom either as a whole, or the individual bully, or the individual victim. But the problem is, most people would remain totally silent, and they would do the downcast eyes thing where they would listen to the teacher, but they would never acknowledge or not acknowledge that they were being bullied.
Now I had a very particular situation when I was in my school in which a new teacher at the school found out that there was a bully in her classroom. Now what was very weird about this bully is that this student was one of my favorite students in class. They were like a shining grade A student, participated in class, but some victims from that bully wound up telling the teacher that he was harassing them and taking their money. Now the worst part of the story is that when the teacher wound up calling the parents of the student to ask them about it, the parents, instead of showing some concern about their kid, were just screaming at the teacher like, why are you trying to ruin my son's reputation?
Yeah, and what's weird about it is that the mother should be worried about her son being a bully, not about his reputation, right?
So then the situation got worse because then the principal wound up siding with the mother, and the teacher was worried that she was going to lose her job, and she got in a lot of trouble for this as a result. So what it seems to us is that if the teacher acknowledges the bullying or doesn't acknowledge the bullying, it still ends up in the same result.
Now, that's not to say that there's no hope. From when we talk to our co-teachers and we've read articles about this online, it seems that bullying is becoming acknowledged as a problem in Korea.
So because of the rising suicide rates among students in South Korea, it seems like bullying is starting to become a hot topic in the Korean news.
But it doesn't really seem like there are any initiatives being taken to stop it. Like, you don't see posters up or like a hotline hotline for someone to talk to.
At least we haven't seen any.
Yeah, and also there aren't any guidance counselors for people to talk to if you're a student in Korea, which is a little bit shocking.
So long story short, yes, bullying is an issue in Korea, and yes, it is very difficult for teachers and students to deal with. So that's it for this TLDR. If there's a question you want us to answer for next TLDR, leave your question in the Google Moderator page.
Or check out the questions already asked and you can vote them up or vote them down.
And don't forget to subscribe for more TLDRs.
And oh, don't forget to subscribe to our new YouTube channel.
That's right.
It's called
Open the Happy.
Open the Happy. I'm pretty sure it's my YouTube channel.
We've got to share it.
Is it
husband and wife
together?
become one?
Am I going to do a makeup tutorial on you?
I'm going to do a makeup tutorial on you.
Oh, God.
I draw the mustache with the eyeliner right here with the permanent markers and the arm coming out of her back like that.